And it says we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody. I told Nancy I'm so frumpy today, but she's like, look at me too. So, but it's crafting. You don't have to be all dolled up necessarily for
That's
crafting.
right. That's right.
And I love Nancy's shirt. It says it's not gray, it's glitter. Love it here. So
Yes,
there you
it's
go.
wisdom glitter.
Wisdom glitter. Excuse me. So we hope everybody has had a great weekend so far. Nancy and I are excited for this new show.
I have a question. Are we live?
Says I am.
Okay. Oh, here we go. It just popped up on my phone. I
Oh,
just wanted
okay.
to make sure. Yeah.
Yes,
Hi,
we are.
everybody.
We are 47 seconds in, and just want to say really quick, Jackie, she's staying up for a bit for us. So thank you, Jackie. I got my cup of tea right here, some coffee. I don't know what you got in yours, girl. Maybe a little bit of whiskey and with your tea or your coffee. What you got, Miss Nancy?
I have a caramel latte coffee.
Sounds yummy. Shan likes the caramel macchiatos every now and then as a treat
Yes.
from Starbucks. And Allison, hey girl, hey. Um, yes, she is the ultimate crafter. I've seen some of her pictures that she sent me, and we are so excited to that you want to join us one of these days. So we know you're very busy on your weekends because school's back in session. So let us know, girl, what Sundays might work best for you. And Nancy and I will be happy to have you join us on one of those days. And this was like a pop up just to introduce the idea to everybody and how it got started. And I want to see you are live now. Oh, okay. So that's weird. You know, StreamYard's been doing stuff.
Well,
So
the reason I asked is when what popped up on my screen was um, recording started, and it didn't say you were live. It says recording started, and so that's why I wondered, because it took a while for it to be live on my phone. So I just
okay.
wanted to make sure, because sometimes
It's been
you
doing
think
that to
you're
a lot of
live and you're
readers.
not. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one night that I read with, was it you and, it was either you and Ramon or somebody, and it said it was done. And I said, I don't know. My screen says we're still going. I think it was maybe you and Ginger. I don't know. But they're
Yeah,
like, no, it says on our end. So StreamYard needs to get their act together.
they
That's
sure
all
do.
I can say. And Allison says, yes, I love to join you all whenever it makes sense to do so. Just let me know. So yeah, Nancy and I just want to do a little pop up today, kind of talk about the idea, and we know there are other shows going. So thank you, but Nancy and I are hoping that this would be the best time slot for us. Um, and oh, you got lovely hot tea.
Oh,
Okay, you sure not with a little bit of that happened for you, Heather? Well, on with rain also.
okay.
Really, that's interesting. Yeah, I think the issue is on the StreamYard end. It's like, what am I paying for every month if this is going to? It's just it's not worth it. But in the end, it is for me because this is my chance to socialize with my friends, like Miss Nancy. Oh
Yes.
no, your whiskey is gone.
Oh dear.
How about that?
Wonder where it went.
I know, Jackie.
A mystery.
So there is a video link in the description. How this got started was last week. Nancy says, I'm doing a video that took quite a while for upload for
Oh
her.
my gosh.
And it was about her junk journals. And I'm watching it and going, oh my God, I've got so much crafting supplies and stuff. I go, I should maybe I could maybe condense some of this and start doing that. And I was like, oh, Nancy, would you be interested in maybe doing a show either weekly or bi-weekly, see what people thought, and where we like sit around, we show what we've been doing during the week. We can work out, like when Jonathan and I get together for painting, this could be like Nancy and I's time to be able to have everyone, sometimes, if they want, grab their craft supplies. They can craft along with us for a little bit. And the video is link is in the description box below. And Nancy goes through her junk journals and she talks about them to give you an idea. And she also brought some with her and some supplies. So I've been doing that kind of on and off during the years. For me, my goal initially was to be able to do a women's support group where I'm at. And I collected all these supplies and images and stuff for women to do collages for art therapy and stuff like that. Kind of fell through. So now I have all this and I'm like, what am I going to do with it? And Nancy came through with her junk journals.
Yeah.
Hey, Ange. Thank you for putting Nancy's link in the chat.
Thanks, Ange.
And
I don't know. I have always I would buy like little journals, little empty journals, and I would cut out pictures that I liked, and I would quotes. I would write quotes that I love.
Journals.
And I have got a whole shelf full of them, and it's so enjoyable to just flip through. I mean, it's so relaxing to just flip through them.
I can't wait to get to this one.
That's beautiful. So what I did, I got just one of those blue sketchbooks at Michael's, and for this, that I would work on during this project that we're doing, and I covered it, and I have a lot of material because I used to do quilting, and so I thought I'd use some of the material to cover it to make it look different, and to get texture. Hey. So that's the one I'm going to be using.
Allison quilts too.
This segment. Pardon me?
Allison quilts too, and she sews. And everybody knows I've been showing off my beautiful little and I have it right here with me, girl. See, I told you I was going to use it. So I have my beautiful little reading mat that she sewed and put together for me.
Yes.
So I have that right here. And Mozzie loves this, Allison. I swear the other night, was it last night or so, I pulled it out to have, for some cards and stuff. And he jumped on and he was starting to roll his head on it. He was getting his claws and going, oh, I love this. I'm like, no claws. But I think he can, I don't know if he can smell the doggies or if he can just, he likes the energy off of, but he was loving up on this. And I'm like, yes, you can love it, but not too much. Mommy wants it to last. So, but fabric like that. Yep, I am a quilter. Whoops. There we go.
My great grandmother was quite the quilter, and I have the quilt that has the white backing and a great big huge star with all different colors, solid colors, making out the star. And she lived to be 101. She pieced it at age 99, and I have that quilt.
Wow.
She passed when I was 4 years old. So we had the quilt that she had pieced, and when I was a teenager, my mother paid a lady that went to the same church as we did, and she quilted it. And on the side of it, she put her name, my great grandmother's name, and pieced age 99. And you know how she charged to do the actual quilting? It was so much a spool of thread she used. And it didn't cost that much, really. And she said it was just an honor to do it, that she just enjoyed, the history of the quilt, So I love that.
Yeah, Elsa says, love the grandmas that did the hand quilting start to finish. Truly amazing. Yeah. Yep, that was my mom. She used to make these big, huge blankets for us that we just put on our beds. And Moonfox says, I like to sew. I like to make my own clothes and costumes, but mostly I love to draw. And you can incorporate that all into junk journals. So, and Lottie B, hello, beautiful pianist. It's pianist, right? Pianist.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, my dear. So, whoops, there goes StreamYard again. Okay. So, kind of trying to figure out where you want to start with this.
I am not a knowledgeable junk journalist. because some people, I mean, theirs are just absolutely exquisite. But I just do it for my enjoyment.
Well, I'm thinking about the crochet blankets. So it's not quilts aren't,
Talking about an
sorry.
Afghan?
In the Afghan. Yeah, my
Okay.
mom would, because my mom and grandma would, sit there with their crochet and they would just boom, boom, and this big blanket, crocheted blanket. So I'm sorry. She's probably over there laughing at
I
me.
am crocheting a little blanket for my 4-pound Chihuahua for when.
She's got a Chihuahua mix, yeah. Oh.
Anyhow.
Is she with you today?
Oh, she's languishing out in the living room.
So Nancy and I actually got backstage today at 2:00 just to kind of share our supplies and talking about how we wanted to crochet as an Afghan. Okay, my dear. Thank you for setting me straight. Knitting can be an Afghan as well. Okay. So when it's quilting, it is not a blanket, but it's it's just a quilt. Okay. Not just a quilt, but it's a quilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about there's all different types of journals. And I'm just teasing quilts. Like we have, October coming up. It's the, typical witchy season. And junk journals can also be considered used for if you do ritual, if you happen to be pagan or Wiccan, or you consider yourself a witch or love doing things that are witchy, you can create, it's a great time to make a junk journal or grimoire. So Nancy and I were thinking about doing, maybe having a show here and there where we can kind of talk about grimoires and what, and you can put your spells or your invocations and all things like that, your herb lore, your crystal lore.
It's nice to have all of that, and also, a ritual journal where
Yes.
you have all your rituals in one place. It's nice to have that, and not be searching all over the place for these random papers that are scattered everywhere.
And then you have journals that can be for spiritual, and separate from a grimoire. It could be like your journal keeping track of your spiritual progress, and you can put all sorts of quotes or images and things like that. Manifestation journal. So it's whatever. There's really no one way or rule to do, everything. But I think that would be fun. Maybe a show here and there where we can, talk about grimoire work or Book of Shadows too, if someone wants to call it Book of Shadows.
I just
I have
did one for contemplations
a book for content. Oh, there you go.
from
So
season to season, just different things that you think about, or I think about, as like fall is approaching.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Moonfox.
whatever floats your boat.
Collage, and sometimes you just want to be artistic and you just want to throw a bunch of collage together, like what I was showing Nancy. It's just some of, but from years ago. This came out through Joanne Fabrics. I think this was back in 2010 or so. This is when like Twilight was on. It's like it was called like the Twilight. It was all the creative color, crafting papers. And so I took some of them and I would just make like collages, But now that years later, I found out that you can use these for like bibliomancy. So I have just watching Nancy's video just really inspired me, because y'all know that I am relocating next year. We can't take a lot with us. And so how can I condense my supplies and my images and things that I've had all these years, whittle them down to junk journals, and they could be memory, there could be there's like, again, the sky's the limit. So I'm going to, because Nancy's the one that got me kickstarted on this idea, I'm going to let Nancy tell her story and how she came about and what she enjoys with her junk journals and how she got started.
Well, I'm going to get this one journal, my first junk journal that I did, just to say, you'll see what I did wrong with it. Okay.
There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Remember that, Nancy.
Well, that's true, I suppose, but
And a gratitude junk journal. Yes, Ange. Exactly. When you said Twilight in the movie, there's a quilt made of shirts, and it's called a shirt quilt, t-shirt quilt. Very cool. Yeah, I think I remember that. These were like piece of paper where they had, like eerie scenes, and they had one with an apple, in it. So for me, I just loved all that, and I'll just
um,
have to take pictures later. Yeah.
when I first started thinking about doing a junk journal, I had two copies of hard book copies of Women Who Run with Wolves, and so I took one of them and started making a journal out of it. Now, I did not realize that what you should do.
This book.
Yeah, that book. When you get a book and the pages are full, if you don't remove some of the pages, like I have in this, I'm gonna do a junk journal out of this book. And as you can see, I have taken pages out of it, so it won't. But when you don't take the pages out, this is what it looks like when, it won't close all the way because I've got so much stuff in it. But you can get real creative. I put
Here, let me put you on the big screen here.
I
There we
put
go.
stones and different things on it. This is velvet with beads. And
did you use a hot glue gun to glue that to the
no,
book?
I used fabric glue and just regular, and I glue sticks. But what I did was some of the pages, I added pages to it. Obviously, I burnt some of the edges so that when you
creative.
look at it, it's not. There's some that stick out, and you kind of want that. I put, like, I love silk, and so I have some old sari material, and I have invocations, but I left part of the book here. I just put things that I like in it, and then I left part of the book, where I could tell which book it was that I used, and I just got all kinds of stuff, different textures, things sticking out. And then I'll just go and decide to write something. I've written some of my poetry in it. I've got different meditations and just kind of throwing stuff together. And it's fun, because you never know what you're going to find on the next page. I've got some lace for the edges because you do want, like I said, the texture is important. And
Ange has a question for you. And Ange says, how did you add pages, Nancy?
Oh, okay. I'll show you on the one that I'm working on right now.
Hi, Dean. Thanks for joining us.
First, I took out some pages out of this. And so what I did was, when you add pages, well, you can do it several ways. But okay, you can add a page this way where you put something, just a piece of paper, and make some pages in the middle. I have some antique book pages that I've added. Or you can add bigger pages like this. Now I've got some silk here, but these are pages that
and that was with a glue stick, right? Okay, glue stick.
And then on this one, I folded one of them in, and I wrote secrets. So I'm going to put something that nobody knows about in there. And I just did a little bit of watercolor. See, I am not an artiste, but I love to paint.
We all are.
And yeah, we all are, but not, I do it for my own enjoyment, And then you can put like envelopes glue
That's
the
pretty.
envelopes, and then put special stuff in. Like I have a card that my son gave me for Mother's Day last year. And then I also have other stuff added in it just to make it pretty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to Michael's or Amazon and just look for these things that you want to add, like this is a page that I did that has different tarot. It has a
Tarot spreads.
reading that I did for myself, and then I've got different tarot spreads.
Very cool.
That way. I mean, you could do a whole book on tarot or your spiritual journey. Here's some. Let's see if I can.
And Ange says, "Oh, okay. Thank you for showing me. I'm a visual gal. Me too."
Yeah,
And Allison says, "Anyone else a neat and tidy organization freak? My moon is Virgo, so."
yeah.
Oh, that is so cute. I love that.
So that's as far as I've gotten. Now, this is the last page that I've done, and I've got another envelope, something that my daughter got for me several years ago, and then in the back I've got more texture. And
oh my goodness!
I said I can get lost in the beauty of nature, and I just wrote some stuff.
She's the queen of the crafting. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. And Moonfox says, "I see you have some pretty happy servants behind you, Nancy."
Oh, I do. That's Edwin and Ruby. And Edwin is really sweet. And he watches out for me. And Ruby is jealous because Edwin is sweet, and so I have to kind of watch her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and
they're my staff waiting for Halloween.
Yeah. And Moonfox, I don't know if you want to share your name or if you're just fine with me saying Moonfox, but she said, or he said, "I also see people putting stickers, and scraps of paper together, and they also draw and make so many art, and it's so pretty. There's no right way of doing anything. There is no wrong way, excuse me.
This was a book that is the complete works of William Shakespeare. And I just added a bunch of stuff to it.
Look who joined us. Hey, Bill. How's it going?
Bill. And, you know, I added material. I could see a man, this book is 80 years old. And I could see a man reading this, smoking a cigar. So I put some of my quilting, you know.
And that's right, Moonfox. You don't have to know exactly what to do in order to make yourself happy. That's what a hobby is for. Just have fun with it.
That's right.
And just have fun with it.
That's right.
Yep.
I mean, you can't. The only way you would make a mistake is if the thing completely fell apart. But you could fix it. And what you do is when you get a book that you decide that you want to cannibalize, you find a part where let me show you here.
And Dean,
right here. Okay, if you look at this right here, these 2 pages are stitched.
Here, let me put you back again on the big.
Well, you can see right here that
you got to lift it up a little higher. There we go.
That.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what I use is one of these. You have to be careful because it's very sharp. And then you just cut out. You just cut out the stitching, and this is what it looks like.
I'm gonna slice my finger off before
one of those stitches that are left in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a whole section that I took out. I saved that in case I ever want to put it in another junk journal because the printing would be different. And another thing that you can do is
hi, Jackie.
Add pages that have, that some are sideways, some are up and down, some, round pages, so that it's erratic looking. So
Ange says cannibalize.
Yes.
And Dean, really quick, any type of book, if you want to watch the replay in the beginning, you can do this basically with any journal, any book. There's, again, no rules, no limits on what you can use.
This used to be a cookbook. And I made this for my daughter-in-law for this Christmas. And this is the main reason that I made the video that I made on my channel. Mm-hmm. Because
Link in the
I
description below.
I know what she likes. And to some extent, she knows what I like, but not completely. And so I created this one for her. And it has got, a lot of nature. They do a lot of hiking.
Can you lift it up a little more?
Oh, I'm
there
sorry.
There we go. Now we can see.
Of hiking. But she also is an earth witch and a kitchen witch. And so I put some of my old witchy journals.
Oh, that's cool.
Pages in there for her, which is kitchen witchery, incantations, dark moon spell.
And who's that for?
My daughter-in-law.
Ooh, cool daughter-in-law.
My youngest son's wife. They are in Seattle right now. They flew out to Seattle for 11 days. And these are pages that I added. And
hope you feel better, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's recovering from a 3-day migraine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then I put some earth magic and just a few of my poems. Here's some contact paper. I mean, you can just do anything you want to. Here's some pages I added. And can
you lift again? Because we can't. There we go. Now we can see.
And I put some material in it, peacock feathers, and more extra pages so she can write things on.
I'm going to learn so much from you.
And I wrote I did a little bit of my art and some of my poetry. And I wrote a little note to her in it, and that, how much I loved her and that I hope she enjoyed this. And, in years to come, when I'm not here, I hope that she can look back on this and know that I loved her enough to take the time to make her something.
Yeah, like that's beautiful.
And
Nancy, you're awesome.
Well, I don't. Oh, thank you.
Jackie says, well, Jackie's Crystal Moon, because we have Jackie Jacaranda with us as well.
Jackie Jacaranda.
In my women's shed group or she group, we made beautiful notebooks a couple months ago. I'm going to make it a gratitude journal. Just decided. Thanks, girls. And Jackie, come join Nancy and I on a Sunday and share. We would love to see that.
Yes, and like another idea I have is, my husband passed a year ago this past March. These are all the little notes and love letters he sent me when we were courting.
Ooh, courting.
And I am thinking about, putting them all together in a little journal with pictures, and then, pictures when the children came and all that. And that'll be something that the children can enjoy,
And we also had a couple more comments. Now, Moon Fox says her name is Shelby. So Shelby says, I also see people put stickers and I already got that. Okay. Sorry, Shelby. I already got that. And then Allison added, personally, there's nothing more gratifying than completely creating something myself with my own hands. And when it's done, I have this beautiful thing that I made. It's extremely gratifying. And I agree. You put your heart, you put your soul, you put your energy into it. So
yeah. If you didn't want to make a great big one, like I've got this right here, and I'm going to do something with it. It's just a little A5 notebook, 192 line pages. And I pulled out some things I want to put in it. There's some
be right back.
Some stickers that I can add to the pages that say like when you know better, do better. Another thing is use your wings, practice kindness. And then you can get all of these little like nature notes, things that you can paste in, or you can another thing that you can do is if you go to Michael's, they have these let me pull this out here a minute. I've got just all this craft stuff that I got out. But you can You
And
can
Ange
buy
says,
these at,
oh,
you can buy these at Michael's, and I'm sure if you are a crafter, you have seen them. This one here is Wildflowers, and it's like a little notebook, and it comes
ooh,
full of pages that
yep,
have different colors,
that's how I got my Twilight papers, was
and
in books like
you
that.
can decide, yeah, you can decide how you want it, if you want to cover it, or here's another one that has different, there's not much left in here because I've used it, but there's just all kinds of
That's
options that
pretty.
you can do. Stay Wild, Moonchild.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And then you can also buy washi tape.
For those who don't know, washi tape is a decorative tape used by scrappers that is easy to kind of pull up and put down when you're creating your pieces. I think they originated in Japan, and they just kind of just spread like wildfire. So they're
Just
called
all
washi tape.
kinds, just all kinds of stuff, all different
Oh
kinds of
my!
washi tape. So it's just however much you want to put in it. You know,
And
uh,
Ange says that there is nothing, receiving something handmade is extra magical and so meaningful. And I agree. And so did Allison. I love getting something that is handmade. And Bill likes crafting too. Well, Bill, you'll have to join
yeah.
maybe Nancy and I on a Sunday afternoon and share some of your crafting
Oh
books
yeah.
or journals or whatever that you do. And then Shelby also said, yeah, I have those kinds of paper, but mine is celestial themed. I love
Ooh.
it when they have the celestial ones.
Now, one of the things,
Me too.
do you all buy like day books, like for 2024, like a moon book or astrology book or nature, things like that? One of the things that I
may
get
use
are
this over.
the lunar diaries, and there is all kinds of poems and stuff. I also do the wee moon books, and there are all kinds of pictures. And what I do is I just
Or the witch's calendar.
yeah.
I cut
And
up
just
pictures and
look
say
in there. That's
pictures.
where I got some of those black pages that had the witchy stuff that I put in my daughter-in-law's journal. But like just opening this right here, it says, "This joy in nothing." Sometimes you wake up with this inexplicable joy, with your gut curled up into a Cheshire smile, and your left shoulder pulls back into a wink that no one else can see. And you look around for the source of this smug delight, but can't at a glance find its origin in any particular thing, not in the whisper of a morning that gently beckons you awake just in time. And then it says, before anyone else would even think of rising at this Mad Hatter coffee over tea hour, before the light of the sun has even risen, so you know that even beauty is not to blame, not for this. This is the best joy. This first joy. This is the last joy. This joy in nothing. Well, I just opened this up randomly.
And you're going to take that.
Put it in my journal. I love it. So I'll put that, in the back of the journal that I'm working on, and I'll find something and have a page on joy.
And Ange says, and I agree, I would have so much fun on a play date at Nancy's. I would too.
Well, come on.
And Jackie, actually next week, I don't see, we're trying to figure out if we want to do this. I think this might be fun every Sunday. Or do you want to do it every 2 weeks?
Now, did you want to tell them who we think we're going to have next Sunday?
So next Sunday, Jackie, we're actually going to have Faraway.
Farah from Faraway.
Faraway. Go ahead, Nancy. You know her.
Her name is Farah, and she is her channel is Faraway Astrology. And she was on with Ginger Faye and I last night when we did readings. And I mentioned to her, I have learned a lot about junk journaling from her, because not only does she do astrology, she has junk journal videos. And she has one video where she sits down on the floor and pulls all of her stuff out and makes a junk journal while you watch her. And
That's cool.
it's fascinating, you know. And so
Mhm.
that's how I kind of, you know, learned. And she does such a good job. I mean, hers are gorgeous.
So we're hoping that next Sunday, because this seems like this is going to be a very popular show, Nancy, like and then the next day you can join Nancy and I again for a little Divine Feminine.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and of course
A
there's going to be,
divine feminine journal.
there you go. So, and there are going to be Sundays when, of course, family and stuff comes up, and especially on the weekends. But thank you, Ange. That's Farrah's. I keep wanting to say, because I think of like Farrah Fawcett. So
yeah,
that's why I'm trying to.
FARAHA.
And she's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. Her astrology is really good. Yeah.
Tell you what. But check out her channel, and if you
Mhm.
haven't subscribed, because I love astrology, and I know how important it is, because it really can tell you what's going on in your life and why you feel the way you do. But it's very complicated to me. And
oh, thank you, Jack.
Something about the way she explains it is much easier for me to understand than just me picking up a book and trying to do it on my own.
Yes. So. And Bill, yes, you are welcome. He says, boys who do arts and crafts are suspect in our society. Boys do football, not arts and crafts. Well, you know what? Boys can do whatever the hell they want. This is the 21st century, just like women can do whatever they want. And there's no limitation to anything like that when it comes to gender.
Yes. Yes.
Art is art. It's creative. It's self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
It's we really, if we promoted this a lot more than what the schools are doing now, there would probably, in my opinion, be a lot less how do I say this with YouTube? There would be a lot less children and especially children and young people harming themselves permanently, or going out and taking a weapon and releasing their anger and their frustrations on their fellow schools and things. Right. There would be so much, because it would teach young people how to express their emotions creatively in a safe space, in a safe way, in a regulated way where they can, and then the meditation that goes along with it, the calming. This is why this is great for any age, because if we got a lot of stuff going on in our lives, this is a great form of like art therapy, where we can just get out of our heads for a while, connect with ourselves and our inner child.
Yes.
We're allowed to play, and when we're able to do that.
Oh my gosh,
and when we're able to do that, we become much more grounded in ourselves. We become more kind and loving to ourselves, more compassionate to ourselves, to others. It just ripples. It really does. And everybody is subscribing to Farrah.
Oh, that's
thank you.
Wonderful.
I
was just thinking about in the chat, because this is going to be an ongoing show. What kind of crafts are you interested in? You know what? Just off the top of my head, making pendulums. We could do that.
I used to make them by hand. I still have a couple originals.
Yeah.
And I still have some of my jewelry with me.
We could do that. You just go to Michael's or go to Amazon and buy some beads and get some wire, and
Also check your Goodwill, check your Salvation Army, check your if you have AMVETS, or if you have like a Savers, especially Savers, because people, I used to find beads and stuff when I lived in Arizona, at our Savers in Arizona, and they have them up here too. So hit up your local charity shops, and you never know what you might find.
We can dip into making our own oracle cards. Get pictures that you want, and just as a fun, just doing it together while we're doing the show. And
Now showing Nancy backstage. If you have rubber stamps, a lot of places like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, they have their weekly sales where you can get, percentage off. Some of these are old because these were from Joann's, but you can get stamps. You can use stamping. And look at the little paw. I got my good
Mhm.
paw. Again, stickers. You can get hole punchers.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
anything, permanent markers. Um, I'm going to go through some decks of tarot cards that don't resonate with me, but I like some of the cards. I'll take those out. I'll toss the rest and I'll create bibliomancy, maybe focusing one, too, because any of these junk journals can be used for bibliomancy. But if you want to focus solely on that, we can do a segment on bibliomancy. And it would be nice if we could get Gerald maybe to join us on a Sunday
Yeah, that would
because
be.
he does a lot of, he's been pulling out his bibliomancy books that
Mhm.
he's created. So he could possibly be a guest. Of
Excuse
course,
me.
not speaking for him, but oh, your husband's taking you out for some food. Bye,
Ooh.
Ange. Enjoy. And so just, again, any old journal, any old book, stamping, markers, craft paint. It doesn't have to be expensive art supplies. Going through magazines, collage. Um, I've
Yes.
had, I've collected pictures over the years. Again, I still have some old images from my witch's calendar. Look at that, 2020,
Yeah.
and some others that I went through. And 'cause I just absolutely love. And what I did, if anybody has any of these at home, Shelby, you might, but oh, I'm trying to be careful not to rip these out. But I went ahead and cut out some of the images that I didn't like. But check this out, Nancy. I was able to make a frame. So
Oh
you
my
can even
goodness,
create frames.
that is beautiful.
So
Oh yeah.
anything you can go to your stores that have, the dollar store now has a lot of crafting supplies, even though they're more like $1.25 now. They're still a great place to look too. So hit up all your local like charity stores and whatnot, see what you can find there. Um, and right now too, with back to school, a lot of places like Walmart and other stores, they have a lot of like school supplies for markers and things on sale. um, Little hole punchers, you can punch
Mhm.
out little. See, I have all this stuff because I thought I was going to do my women's group here. And I wanted to have a lot of supplies for the ladies, not just for myself, but for the ladies. And so, stencils,
Mhm.
you can get stencils
Yeah.
and put stencils in there. So Nancy and I will have to kind of see, we can create each week a theme, find out who wants to join us. We've got Allison, we've got Jackie's Crystal Moon. Um, Bill is always welcome to join us. Would love to reach out to Gerald at some point.
Yeah.
I think he likes to take weekends off, but maybe he might make an exception
Have
for
you
us.
ever have you ever noticed how like when you're in Michael's, those little wooden boxes that they have, they're they're just, well,
They're so
they come in
overpriced
different
though, Michael's.
they come in different sizes, but
Hmm.
you could get some acrylic paint, or well, any
Hmm.
kind of paint really, and paint the box the color that you want. And then if you have seashells from a trip that you took to the beach or whatever, or little rocks, um, and you can glue those, and then in the spaces where there are no shells or rocks, put
Hmm.
in like iridescent beads that you
Hmm.
and you could have a little magical box, like where, like before you take a shower or something, and you take your jewelry off, put them in that little box. That would be
There's
just
also
all.
manifestation boxes, wish
Yeah,
boxes, fairy boxes. Baby Ginger will want to do maybe a fay box. We can do fairy
oh, that
boxes.
would be
That would
neat.
be fun. And
That would be
Allison says
fun.
you can just come over and see her. She goes, I have plenty of stuff to give away for crafting. I mean, Allison and I don't really, that about maybe half a day from
Yeah.
each other, but I keep saying, I go, I wish I could have a play date with like Allison and with Nancy. Just bring up all of our supplies, throw them on the table, throw some
Hmm.
water over for tea or whatever, and just sit around and, you
Oh,
know,
wouldn't that be fun?
chat and have, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It'll
you can
be
bring that,
nice
and you
if
can bring
people
Ginger up with
want to
you.
participate and actually do something. Now I can't think of. I think Moonfox Knight was talking about how she was creating some art as she's watching us.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is cool, That's Shelby.
Mhm.
So I'm going
Oh,
to have
that
to
was
remember
Shelby.
Shelby. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Moonfox
Moonfox is the
is.
one that is thinking about an outfit to take to a art festival that's going to be next week. So
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, she's chatting away. I love this, sharing everything that she does.
Yes, for the play
Um,
box. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
we could just make all kinds of magical stuff.
Well, definitely. I know Ginger would probably love to do that because I have like that's so funny because I have boxes like these. This was from
Yeah,
Hobby
there
Lobby
you
a few
go.
years back. These can be painted. You can do
Hmm.
decoupage. You can get,
Yeah.
like Eileen's decoupage glue or oh, the other one, the Mod Podge. You can cut
Hmm.
out pictures and you can decorate. You can put like little flat stones like cabochons. And I love how
Oh,
they just kind of open up and oh, Morgan,
I
more
was just
books.
one of the things that I forgot to mention about
I have too
that you
much.
can do with a a book is you can buy gesso and paint over the words in the book, and then you can put whatever you want in there. You could do your own little you could do sigils, or you could do little boxes and make rows of houses. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that you could do. If you
Yeah, it would be. Oh, I'm sorry.
it just
Alice is just acknowledging that would be fun, a blast if we could all do that game together and do
oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it sure would, it really would.
And also with a nice, I'm glad that you brought up Gesso, Nancy, because if you have, let's say you have that page, but you want to only, you want to do some art on it, but you don't want to cover it all, they do have clear Gesso, which
Mm.
has the texture of regular
Oh,
gesso, so that if you lay it over and let it dry, then maybe do another light coat depending on the condition of the surface of the paper.
mhm.
Then you can maybe do a second coat, and then that way you can take pan pastels or soft pastels, color pencil, paint, and then go over and around. I mean, there's like really no limit to what you can do with and I have just about all of that here. So um we'll have to figure out how we do this from each weekend if we're going to feature a certain type of material, or like one week maybe focus on stamps, maybe one week focus on, I don't know. Nancy and I just want to do this pop-up today to see
Well,
what people's
you
reaction
know
would
what we
be.
could do. Well, next week we're still going to be on junk journals, but you know what you could do, Heather, is afterwards, um, you could put up a poll of what do you want to do next,
That's
and then
right.
community page or the about whatever they call it now. They don't call it community page anymore, I don't think. But anyway, you could give like 3 or 4 different options and see which one gets
Yes.
the most votes, and then that's what we would do the next week, because we want everybody to be involved. I mean, the whole point
Mm-hmm.
to get our creative juices going, and
Get your
it's
craft
a,
on.
it's a healing thing, and it's something
It
that
is.
we
And
can start
spiritual too.
here and then do
Mm-hmm.
on our own, and then
Yeah.
come back and talk about it. And another thing that you could do, like if people are making junk journals, as we do this, is you could put a link in and people could come on and show us what they created,
Mm-hmm. That would be
rather
great.
than just talking about it, where we could actually see it. I would love that.
Jackie says, fab ideas, lady. Allison, even me. Yes, you. And Shelby says, I don't have a fairies box, but I do have a box where I have these from, or I think maybe these from nature, and I turn it into a traveling altar. Very cool.
Ah, yes.
It's
That
time to
now
create
that's
and craft
something
for the
we could.
holidays.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
there's just all kinds of
Hashtag.
yeah.
Really? Maybe I can do a hashtag.
What would be neat is to gather beautiful, colorful leaves
Mm-hmm.
during fall, and press them, and then
There you go.
decoupage them on a box. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? Oh my goodness,
And Allison
have
said you
them
could ask
forever.
everybody what they're interested in. I have dabbled in so many things, I'm sure, as most of us have. So yeah, that's a
Yep.
great idea, Nancy. Definitely with the poll, and then we can kind of, because like I'm saying, I'm going through stuff trying to figure out what I'm going to donate, what I'm going to keep, and trying to keep what I really don't want to give away, but see if I can use that, because a lot of these supplies cost money.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to try to keep as much of my memories and stuff, you know, as possible. I have this picture of Shan from the movie still. A lot of people don't realize, but my Shan had a small couple second. It was originally a couple lines, but they took it out of the movie. But he got to be in a movie with Katharine Hepburn and the Duke. He was
Mm-hmm.
in Miss Rooster Cogburn and somebody, Mrs. I can never get the name of the movie right. Rooster Cogburn and the Missus, and he had this little part, in this movie, and I
Picture,
still
can
have.
you show them? Do you have that picture where you could show them right now? Is it close by or no?
I have
Oh,
no
okay.
idea where it is right now, but
Well, it's neat.
yeah, he was 16 years old, and Katharine Hepburn told him, this is what Tom and I were talking about last night. You never know where our paths are going to go, because he had the chance, he had Katharine Hepburn tell him, "You are a very handsome young man. You would be wonderful as an actor. I hope you consider, going into acting." And so they have some, not everybody has Katharine Hepburn telling them.
Yeah, really.
So all these different life experiences, I wish he wasn't so shy, because he's had so many,
Oh.
haven't seen a real Bigfoot in his life and haven't seen a
Mhm.
real ET in his life and things like this. I'm like, oh my God, it would be such a great show. No, 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 no.
Uh, Allison, my mother made pine cone wreaths, and
Hmm.
when my husband and I were dating, she was taking this pine cone wreath class at the community college, and she needed some pine cones. And of course, Ricky, he was chief of security. He was the deputy sheriff at Lake Junaluska, and he had one of the maintenance men climb up a pine tree, and it had those long
Hmm.
cones that you could put in a wreath and have. But anyway,
Hi, Audra.
he brought a box of about 100 pine cones to my mother,
Wow.
and she
Share
made
with
all kinds of
everybody.
wreaths.
Oh wow, yeah, make a
Yeah.
little extra, or gives like at gifts,
Hey,
exactly.
Audra, it's
um
good to
yeah,
see you.
we glued dried leaves on a little glass jar, and I have a tea light candle in it. That's beautiful,
Oh,
Jackie. Especially
yeah,
Ireland, the Isle of Magic, the Isle of Fairy. To
yeah,
me,
yeah.
Ireland is magical, even though I've, in
Mhm,
this lifetime, I haven't been there.
mhm.
But that's one of my bucket lists, is the United Kingdom and the countries over there.
And Shelby's talking about the fall is the time. That's when I go inward and I
Exactly, me
do
too.
things and I have projects, and this is a perfect time to start this because the
Oh,
nights are longer and
and I have so much stuff. I talked about things I've collected. People, y'all know that I'm a big X Files fan. I'm like, I don't want to get. So my TV guide covers, I still have them. They will be awesome in my journals. So I may even make like a 20-year-old junk journal where I include
oh,
all
that's
of my
neat.
X Files,
Yeah.
along with my Tory pictures and stuff and whatnot. But yeah, TVs, newspaper clippings. I have almost every single TV guide. I think I missed two editions, but I have the rest. Plus, I mean, yeah, this is stuff that has just been so, for Shan, it's not so hard for him. He's pretty much willing to give up everything just so that I don't have to give up my memories, because we're very different people. So, for him, memories can be remade, things can be, da da da. But he gets me with my emotional attachment to my things. So
Mhm,
this is why when Nancy did that junk journal video, it was like she helped me help solve some of this issue with what I can or can't take with me, because now I can focus a lot of these things
mhm,
into a way of being able to, or if I can't necessarily take it all with me, I can always, give it to a friend here and have them ship them out to me once we get there, a little at a time.
Yeah.
So I do have a friend though in Eugene. I might even be able to ship it to her. I'm not sure. But this has just been amazing. They're like on the thumbnail, there's scissors that have different shapes on them. You can play with those, to shape the sides of your paper. Again, tarot cards, things from nature, glitter. I mean, it's just, well, glitter kind of gets all over the place. It's kind of hard. Oh, this is what I was going to look for earlier. So, talking about tarot cards, these are some blank cards I got when I was trying to do some true crime cards. When Jackie and I were doing our investigative tarot, which we'll get to, people. I know some people have asked me on the side when we're going to do it at some point, but I found out from Diana Bowles, oil painter, that she took some Sharpies and stuff and she created her deck that she sent me. And so I started playing with some of my Sharpies, and this is what I'm getting. So we can make our own oracle cards.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
And we can do them along together. And then Jonathan wants to join us on a craft. And then Jonathan and I, when we can, we do our paint. So I just really want to make this channel more about, you know, who I am and what my passions are and my joys are,
Yes.
along besides the readings, talking about the art and crafting and doing that. Yep, back to true crime. Jackie, I've been seeing a lot of like possible like paranormal true crime kind of stuff, like how these people just disappear. Is it Bigfoot on these mountains? Is it aliens? Is it foul play? Is it just an accident? I would just, yes, Allison, clear that clutter. I'm working on it, and I did get that book. Allison recommended a book. I can't think of the name of it right now. It's a Feng Shui book, and Allison's supposed to be here by September 11th. So I should be getting that book in the upcoming
Do you
week.
remember the name of it?
Oh, I took it out. Allison, could you put that book into the if I know you're painting, sweetheart, if you could just type in the title, because I did have it in my phone, but I deleted it after I found it and ordered it. Yeah, my brain is completely, but it's a book, and she says it's to help people to let go of things that especially if there's like a spiritual, emotional, or necessarily physical helps you kind of go through stuff to figure out what is the most important and what it is that you really,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't need.
I love that.
hmm So I should be getting
Something
that
I
in the
need.
next
I've
few
been
days.
majorly getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and I mean, I'm not a minimalist by any stretch of the imagination, but there's certain things that I could get rid of that I don't need.
Yeah.
A lot actually.
And I think a lot of us doing these projects and doing the creativity, not only will it help us clear clutter in our homes from old books, magazines, and stuff, but then again, they can be used as gifts, or it can cut down the amount of, you know, clutter that we have, because instead of having three boxes of stuff, it might be able to get dwindled down to one or two.
Yeah.
So trying to think, in that manner. And if she doesn't get to it in the chat, I can always end up putting it later in the comments, and I can always, shoot it off to you, Nancy, as well. So the
Okay.
book was only, I think the book was only $12, I think, or 13 after tax. So and Allison said, that's cute, Nancy. Love pine trees and their cones. I miss living in Flagstaff where we had the ponderosa pine, and that has such a unique smell sent to that wood. I miss smelling that. So maybe I'll get to. I think Shan said that Oregon might have some ponderosa pine. It'll be nice. So we are at 4 o'clock. Was there anything else we wanted to discuss about announcing this?
I just hope everybody will be back next week if we're going to do it next Sunday.
I hope so
And
too, and I'll make sure we do that poll.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And Farah will be here.
Yes.
Farah.
Farah. Yeah, it's Farah.
So
I just,
far away. I have to keep that
yeah,
song in my head when
yeah,
I go to.
yes,
So hopefully she'll be able to be with us next week at three
I hope
o'clock. I think 3 o'clock is a good time. If people think it might be a better time, let us know. But I think it fits, um, nicely.
yes,
I know Jane the Seekers did a show today at 2, so usually she does her shows for about an hour. So that way, not too much overlapping with other shows. So I think this is a nice little time slot. And then it keeps Sunday evenings open for when Kara and I can get back together and do our Mystic Poet Society.
mm-hmm.
And we are going to bring the poetry back. We just have to, because she's looking for a new job, and she's got her little babies to look after. So once her schedule gets all settled in,
Yeah,
we'll be hopefully be able to announce sometime, either by the end of this month or next month. When we can get to do it, 3 or 4. I'm not sure how long I'll be at the art festival, but I love these streams. So I think 3 is a kind of a good one.
mm-hmm.
And then Jackie, because Jackie is in Ireland, so she's 5 hours ahead. So if we do this at 3,
That's
Jackie,
good
that
for
should be
her.
good for you for an hour. So yeah,
And
three
maybe
o'clock
Jackie
here.
can come up with a craft that would be fun for us to do.
She can
Yeah,
show the pine cone that you said, the little jar that you made too.
yeah, yeah.
So it'll be fun. And Shelby says, I'll come when I can or whenever it's good for you. Oh, all righty. So everybody, thank you. This was fun.
Yes. And we'll
And
see you
we
next time.
most
Until then,
definitely.
start crafting.
And Nancy and I will see you tomorrow at a special time. Divine Feminine will be actually at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow evening, because Scott Scorpio will be joining us. And he doesn't get off of work until a little bit later. So
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, 7 p.m. special time, and he'll be joining us. And then Tuesday, TTT, Tarot Tuesday Talks with Rain, Jackie, and I. And Nancy, what about you?
Let me see here. Let's see. I've got to look because most of the time I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Excuse me. I wasn't. Um, uh, the Friday. Well, you just said what we're doing tomorrow. So, Friday I'm going to be on Jonathan Daly's channel with elementals. I'm doing air, and Jonathan and Ginger and Gerald each have an element also. And then
That sounds like fun.
7 p.m. on the 14th, Rock and Tarot is going to be on Ginger's channel, and Heather will be, and I will be joining Ginger for that. And that's a new series that Ginger is starting. So I think that'll be fun because
Stay tuned.
gotta love that
Awesome
music,
idea
right?
that she came up with. Yes. And this Friday, Allison, Amanda, and I don't have a special guest. We should still be going on at 8 o'clock this Friday. So we'll look forward to seeing you all there. And let me just check this again one more time, because I'm back. And so actually, it's a quiet week. Yeah, unless I do a pop up, or
Yeah.
the 17th, Ginger and I will be joining Ramon and Linda De Gonzalez. So I know this is a couple of weeks ahead of time, but for Ramon's full moon readings.
Oh, that's
So we're going to
wonderful.
be joining
And
Ramon that evening.
Audra, like you, I miss the poetry on Sundays. So, I'm glad that's going to be starting back up because I
Yep,
really enjoyed
we're
that. I
calling it.
really did.
I know Karen likes to call it MAPS, even though there's no A in it, but Mystic Poet Society, MPS, kind of like a map. So I'm going
Oh,
to have fun playing with that thumbnail. So that'll be a lot of fun. So.
yeah.
I missed the writing too.
Yeah.
So, and Jackie said too, I posted a video showing my notebook. Thanks, ladies. I'm writing my gratitude for today as we speak. And check out
Awesome.
Jackie's Crystal Moon, her and Cersei. Cersei were beautiful name. Absolutely beautiful. They were talking yesterday on their channel about gratitude and with manifestation. Wonderful conversation. And
They have
so
wonderful, their energy is beautiful. I love,
Mhm.
yeah.
So a lot of good things coming up for us fellow readers. Lots of new opportunities. So I love that. Seer Shah. Seer. Thank you. Seer Shah. I don't know what kind of call her Seer. I was thinking of the goddess Circe. Okay, Seer Shah. So Seer Shah. Yes. Just wonderful conversation. Mm-hmm.
Sircha. Okay.
Here. All righty. Well, everybody, thank you again. And if you
Bye,
think of
everybody.
something, reach out to Nancy or I. Our emails are in the
Or
description.
put it in the chat.
At, in the
Comment
comments.
afterwards
Mm-hmm.
too. Yeah. That'll be
And oh, we love you too. Aw. Love you too, girl.
bye
You're
bye.
grand, Jackie. You're grand. I love trying to do my little grand like she does, my little Irish. So everybody, thank you, Lottie B. I'm glad you're still here. And Nancy and I will see you hopefully tomorrow evening. Bye,
Bye bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Have a great day.